So in one of my most recent videos, I talked about how to get from zero to millions, you either A, got to get a high paying job, or B, start a small business and build that thing up over the next 5 years, right? Or so, 5 to 10 years, 3 to 10 years, whatever it might be, right? But here's the thing. There's always an advantage and disadvantage to either route, right? So in this video, I want to talk about why the business route might be a better route than getting that high paying job. Let's jump into it.
Headed to the top, they ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, own property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. I'm flashing for. I'm on my grind, not no more fashion show.
It's not about the money, it's about the wealth. Listen to this. If you go make $36,000 a year at a company, right? Or you can go and make $36,000 a year at your own company paying yourself, right? Let's say your company grosses about, I don't know, $300,000 a year, and you pay yourself $36,000 a year salary out of that money, okay? So what's the difference between you making $36,000 for your company versus you making $36,000 at somebody else's company? Same thing, right? Only difference is you had to work your ass off to build that company up to $300,000 per year, number one, right? So then you're like, well, damn, for all of this stress, for all of this building, I might as well just go work for their company and they'll pay me the salary for less stress and all of this, right? Well, no, that's the wrong logic, because you got to understand this. It's not about the money. That's riches. Like, that's temporary. Because guess what your net worth is when you go work for somebody else's company? Let's say you make the $36,000 at somebody else's company, right? You renting an apartment, and you making monthly payments on a car note, right? And you got maybe personal loans, credit cards, etc. Well, what is your net worth? Your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. Well, if you renting an apartment, you don't own a business, and you making $36,000 a year at your job, what are your assets? Nothing. Zero. Now, what are your liabilities? Those loans, the credit card plus the car note, right? So you take that, the assets, which is zero, and subtract the liabilities, and you'll have a negative number. Now, if you took the exact same situation where you were the owner of the company making $36,000 a year, well, now you got the equity of the company minus that debt that you had, and now you at least have a net worth at that point. Now, why is a net worth so important? Because you say, okay, well, it's just paper, right? It's just on, in theory, it's not really a thing that you can touch. Well, that's not true, because here's the thing. Number one, if you own a business and you die today, let's say you have kids, you can pass that business on to your kids, and now they don't have to go looking for a job because they can grow into the company that you left for them. That's number one. Number two, if it's an actual business and there's a system in place and it's self-sustaining, now guess what? It's passive income coming from that company. Because we just said you made $36,000 in salary. Well, guess what? We didn't say you can also be making dividends, passive income, okay, from that company. You don't have to work at all. If you don't want to, if it's a company that's self-sustaining, you can hire somebody to be the CEO, pay them, and you just collect dividends from the company, okay? Just now you're in an executive level position. Okay, then on top of that, you can borrow against that company. Okay, now you might say, well, yeah, I can borrow against the pay stubs at that job too. That's more simple and easier to manage. Well, that's true. However, now if you borrow against the income, the check stub that you got at that job, they're going to look at your personal credit report, right? They're going to look at your personal credit score and base it off of that along with your income. Well, if you own a company, you can borrow against the business, because again, why are we borrowing in the first place? It ain't like you're trying to go buy another car, right? That's not what we borrowing for. Not if we building wealth. Not if we watching the AJ Simmons Everybody Eats channel, right? We only borrowing to make more money, right? So if you're borrowing, you're trying to go buy an investment anyway. So what better thing to do than to borrow against the company that's already making you the money, so that way you can invest in another income source, okay? So if you got a company, then you can borrow against the business's books, okay? So if you've been keeping up with your books, and you got a recurrent history of income coming in, you got You see that you own stuff, you know what I mean? They're looking at your balance sheet. They see that your company has assets. Maybe you own some equipment with that company. Maybe you might even have some real estate in that company. You might have a company vehicle in that company. Anything, okay? But either way, you can borrow against the income sources of the company itself. The fact that the company generates revenue makes that company an asset that you can borrow against without a personal guarantee, which means they're not going to check your credit score, unlike if you were to try to go borrow if you worked at a job, okay? So that's why it's so important to obtain meaningful wealth and not ordinary income. When you're working for somebody else's company, you're just getting ordinary income. I don't care if it's $1 million a year salary. It's just ordinary income until you invest that money and create meaningful wealth for yourself. Something that you can pass on to your kids. Something that you can borrow against. You see what I'm saying? Something that's tangible. That's why that's why when you see a lot of rich people, you notice that most of their net worth isn't in cash at all. They don't have a lot of money in the bank most of the time. Their net worth is calculated off the real estate that they own, the companies they're invested in, the stocks, all of that type of stuff, right? It's never in just cash, because cash loses value every day anyway, because they print more of it every single day. And how do we place value on things? By scarcity. Okay, so every time, like if everybody in your neighborhood got on new Jordans, the black and red Jordans, right? You don't want the black and red Jordans because it ain't worth as much to you because everybody got them. So you want to go get those orange ones over there, you know, because you want to be the only one with it, because that creates value. Value is created when you can have something that nobody else has. So everybody doesn't own a business. That's why a business is wealth. Everybody doesn't even own a home. That's why a home is wealth. It's about creating that value for yourself, creating something that's tangible. And paper, at the end of the day, money is just paper anyway, right? So you have to get wealth. You have to invest. You got to learn about stocks. You got to learn about real estate, and you got to learn about small business, okay? And some of you guys might not even want to do a small business, but you just want to invest. Well, okay, well, stocks, because what is stocks? Investing in somebody else's company. But it's different than working for somebody else's company. It's like now you're going to give somebody else money who knows what they're doing with their company. They're going to take your money, put it into their business, make their business generate profits, and then give you a piece of the proceeds since you put your money into it. That's what stocks is, okay? So again, you don't have to be an entrepreneur just to get started in investing. Investing can be a bunch of different things. All investing is putting your money into something that's going to bring you back money, period. That's it. And you want it to bring back more than what you put in. That's it, okay? So the bottom line is this. Don't worry about high income all the time. Yes, if you happen to come across a job or some type of career field where you can get a high income, that'll be more helpful, because the more you're making, the more you can save, the more you can invest, right? However, you don't need a high paying job or high paying income to invest and to be successful. All you need is to learn how to invest, because if you really know what you're doing, you could take $100 and invest that and flip that into 1,000 and turn that 1,000 into 2,000 and so on, right? So it's not about how much you bring in, it's about how much you keep and then invest and make it multiply by more. Make the money your employee, okay? Thank you for watching my video, and make sure you hit that like button if you liked the video, because I know you did, and also hit subscribe, and right beside that subscribe button is going to be a notification bell. You gotta click that, because guess what? You never know when I'm gonna go live. As a matter of fact, I might go live right now, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss my videos, all right? And if you want to start or grow your business, check out cleanbiznetwork.com, all right? We have cleaning business starter kits. We have a lead generation service to help you grow your cleaning business, all type of stuff. And also, don't forget to download the Calculated Clean mobile app as well, all right? So that's what I got for y'all until you click another video and go watch, man. Watch another video, why not? Binge on it. Let's go.